you guys weren't expecting? It seemed like they were throwing to sort of set up the run
Sure.
rather than the other way around.
Now, credit to Billy, credit to the offense for them. They did a really good job. The quarterback was more mobile than we thought or expected, and just the first drive, converting three third downs was critical in the game. That kind of set us back, and that was kind of the theme for the game. We were forcing them into third downs. Then on the times that we would hold them on third down, they would go for it on fourth, and then they would convert. So the biggest piece is we want to force them into third downs, but once we get them there, we got to get off the field. It was a little faster than it had been the previous few weeks as far as getting out of the huddle and then going ahead and snapping the ball. But other than that, it was, for the most part, what we had planned for and prepared for.
I was going to ask about that. It seemed like they were changing that up a lot.
They were.
They may have gotten you guys a little
Sure.
off in pre-snap.
Yeah, it was just they were a little more methodical in the few games leading up to it. I don't know if the quarterback had become more comfortable with everything, but they did a really good job, and hats off to them with that piece of it.
And staying on those third downs, you guys have been pretty good on third down
We
this
have.
year. The money downs kind of played itself
Yep.
out.
Yep.
How much is there kind of a groundswell when you give up some of those early third downs?
Right.
It just kind of becomes something that's a problem for quite a while.
Right.
It didn't really. I think you guys got some stops late, but at that point the game was
Sure.
fairly out of hand.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece is, we showed all the plays to the guys yesterday, and just relying on the things that had made us successful, especially on the third downs. I think the quarterback, to his credit, was able to escape 4 sacks. So we haven't pinned up. We had really good coverage, and we just couldn't finish on the sack, which we'd been doing a really good job, the last couple of weeks especially. So just relying on the training and, getting the guy on the ground, and hats off to him. He was a good athlete. But we've got to finish the plays when we have a chance to make them. And then there were 3 of them late in the down. He was able to get completions because we lost coverage late in the down. But I thought the DBs did a good job of covering early in downs, but as the play went on, we lost some of the guys.
Follow up on that, sorry, Chip. A couple of those, it seemed like Dez was just right there and wasn't able to make the play.
Sure.
And there wasn't a third guy or second guy there to kind of close in the pocket as you've had in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Is that pretty much?
I mean, Dez is a tremendous player. Bo Atkinson came free on one, and Bo's a great player. He's proven that he can get guys on the ground. So hats off to their quarterback, able to elude and evade, really good players getting into the backfield on him. So.
I was going to say, this week you're playing a freshman quarterback.
Sure.
Pretty elusive, too.
He is.
Your thoughts on seeing CJ
Yeah, I mean, obviously 6'6", 200 plus, has a live arm, does a really nice job with the offense, has zip on the ball. Looks like as the season's gone on, very comfortable with the scheme, very comfortable reading coverages where the pressure's coming from, and knowing where the outlets are with the ball. And then when all of that has been covered or breaks down, he's able to make plays with his feet too. So he's a really good player, and so we got to be dialed in and ready to go on Saturday.
A lot of times you play a freshman quarterback early in the year. You think maybe you can confuse and do some things.
Sure.
By this point of the season, you feel like they're more seasoned to the point that
I think so. I mean, the last couple of games, you can see his comfortability, knowing where to go with the football, taking his time pre-snap to see coverage, see rotation, see where the pressure's coming from. So you can tell that he's much more comfortable, and he's a dynamic athlete and has a really good arm too.
Geoff, when you were at Western and when you were at Georgia Tech, what was your sort of perspective on the UNC-NC State series, just from an outsider's point of view, and coming into this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's bragging rights in the state, and tremendous amount of respect for Coach Dorn and what they've been able to do there. And then once you've lived this rivalry for 11 months, you kind of get it from how important it is to everybody in the organization, how important it is to the fan base, how important it is within the state, and all those kind of things. So, my big deal is I want to do the best job I can for the players, and in turn do the best job I can for this university and for the state and all of those kind of things. So, but I've always respected the rivalry. I've played in some really good ones, and this one ranks up there with the feeling leading up to it, that it's two really good teams going at it with a lot on the line.
As a defensive coach, you understand all these schemes. What makes the 3-3 stack so hard to play against as an offense? What is it about the 3-3 stack?
I've never coached in it. I've just seen it, and I think that defensive staff does a great job with what they do. But I've never coached in it or anything like that. But just watching it, obviously there's multiple ways you can get pressure, multiple ways you can disguise, all those kind of things add elements to it.
I know there's still 2 more games for you guys. Well, we're not going to get you next week. We're not going to get the interviews next week. We may not talk to you between now and the bowl game.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious how you think, maybe not so much how you've done as a coordinator this
Sure.
year, but how the vision you came in with last January and what
Right.
you preached to the kids and what
Sure.
you were trying to mold, how much of that has come together?
Right.
That you feel like, okay, somewhat the seeds are planted that year 2, we're going to start so much further ahead,
Right.
and it's going to be more of what we've seen
Right.
aside from BC the last month or so.
Yes, I mean, that's a tremendous question. We actually ended yesterday's unit meeting with the last 3 plays of the game, where it was all the young guys out there, Jay Braun making a tackle for loss, Bo making another tackle for loss like he usually does, and just a bunch of young guys on the field getting a 3 and out or really a 4 and out, and just to show that all the things that we've been through and all that the young guys have witnessed watching these great older players improve throughout the year and putting some really good defense on tape, that they're the building blocks, the attitude, the mindset, all those kind of things are in place to take a next step as we move forward. And all of that credit goes to the seniors that are going to be playing their last game in the stadium. So I just a tremendous amount, and I told this to the entire team on Friday, my opinion as a coach, your first job is to love your players. That is the first job that you have. That is your number 1 responsibility. And that's kind of easy for me to do, right? To pour into them, to love them, to care for them. But the next piece is the respect that the defensive players in particular, but this entire organization, the respect that I've gained for them is through the roof. All the adversity that they've been through, how they've handled certain things. Obviously, the outcome wasn't what we wanted on Saturday, but just the mindset, the determination, all those kind of things, the elevated level of play for a large part of the season is a lot to be really proud of. And then we've got to, regroup. I heard Chip talk about it, regroup, refocus, and then get ready to play a great opponent out here on Senior Day on Saturday.
Another question along those lines, like when you went to Florida, you were new, you had new guys and stuff, you had new
Sure.
guys here. Is there a point where they get what you want them to get, but it still takes a little bit of time to translate to the field? Or should it happen when they get it? I'm just kind of curious about timeline.
Sure.
Of when you see the layering of the process of them fully getting
Right.
it.
Well, I think you guys have self-admittedly made comments about how you have seen it yourselves, and there have been runs of games and runs of stretches of play that you can see a really good defense in action. And the key is, even though there will be some ups and downs as you progress, as it goes on, just seeing the more consistent, the mentality, the confidence, the flying around, the freedom, all those kind of things that we've seen it in spurts and seen in long spurts consistently show up on a weekly, daily basis. And I'm very proud of the way the guys, have played throughout the course of the year, even though there have been ebbs and flows, but the groundwork is there.
I hate to hog this. So then when you have a game like Saturday where the same stuff didn't go well that had gone well previous weeks.
Sure.
As a coordinator, you don't stress as much over it because you know that those seeds are there, the roots are now there,
Right.
all that stuff. So it's a few plays here and there. That's what added to the numbers and the result. But
Right.
otherwise, you feel pretty good about where everything is.
Yeah, and then you watch the third down tape as a collective. There's 4 plays that we have really good players there to make plays. I love them. They didn't want to not make the play, but you also have to give credit to the opponent that they've got really good players too. So just showing the why, and I won't go over that here. I'll keep that in the meeting room. But the why, we could have maybe made the play a little bit easier for ourselves, those kind of things. But just the love and respect that I have for this group of guys is through the roof. And the belief that I have in this group of guys currently and the guys that are going to be returning is through the roof.
When you look at NC State, they really added skill position players in the offseason
Sure.
transfer portal. Are there one or two guys that have stood out in watching their is that running back or wide receiver?
No, they're really good. I mean, they've got speed all around the perimeter, the running back depth and rolling guys through, and then the tight end room is really good as well. I know our tight end room is really good. Their tight end tight end room is comparable as well, and the things that they can do, especially with number 15. He's a really good player, and they get him out of space, and he comes into the core and blocks. And then it's an experienced offensive line that is big, that is physical, that executes really well. And then the challenges they pose with the formations, with the shifts, moving different guys around. It's almost like positionless football, where there could be number 10 can be here, number 15 can be there. They're all moving around. So having the awareness of all of those kind of things on every snap is going to be huge.
Have you ever been around Robert and I? Ever crossed paths, Coach and I?
I don't think so. But what they put on tape, what they put on tape, I've got tremendous amount of respect for.
Last year, by the end of the year, KC gets up showing is sort of their entire offense. This
Sure.
year it feels like they can go to any number of players.
And so first, he's a great player, right? We all know that he is a tremendous player. But then there's just so many other weapons that they have at all levels of the offense. So you got to be sound fundamentally, schematically, all those kind of things on every snap. Because when they break the huddle, it could be any formation, any subset of all the personnel groupings, and the personnel groupings in the final formation don't always marry up. So that's a huge challenge as well.
I meant to ask you this maybe a couple weeks ago. When you first got the word, that, I don't know how you got it, Kalen Rucker just hurt himself in the weight room. He's probably going to be out for a while.
Sure.
How does the defensive coordinator handle losing their best
Well,
player?
well, I mean,
Best defensive player?
yeah. Well, first of all, you've got the first thought is of the kid,
Right.
of the young man. I don't want to call him a kid because he's a grown man. But just the first thought is him. His current state of health, his current state of mental well-being, all those kind of things are the first thing that goes through your mind. And obviously you just got to figure out what is the next best course of action when such a critical player is not going to be in the rotation for a while. And I think it was 4 weeks, 4.5, whatever. So, but really proud of Jacoby Collins stepping up, J. Brown Harvey, Tyler Thompson stepping up in his stead. But obviously, losing a player, like Kamen is, you got to make adjustments to what you're doing and how you do it and all those kind of things. But proud of the way the guys stepped up when Kamen was out.
It's tough losing a guy in the weight room, too, I would think.
Sure.
It's not a tough losing kid anyway, but
Right.
not getting injured on the field.
Sure. Yep.
Saw a little more of Michael Short the other day. How's he coming along?
He's a really good player. And the thing I'm so proud about Michael, and this is a PSA for all young players, is the development of a player begins in special teams. And he has taken that to heart. He has made that personal. He has developed in every single phase of his game. And as the season goes on, there he is getting meaningful reps on defense. Had a huge, third or fourth down stop down in the red zone. It was a huge play, right? And it was film study. It was a process, all of those things that led to that moment. So, I mean, I can't say enough of how proud I am. I mean, he's long, he's physical, he's fast, he's smart, high character, practices the right way, plays the right way, is just an all-around good dude in the program. And it's so great that he's gotten to be around Power Eccles, see how Power Eccles goes about his business on a daily basis, and then replicates that, and he applied it in special teams, he applies it in the practice field, applies it in the film room, and then he gets rewarded for it with play. Then he gets more playing time because his production keeps getting better and better and better. So I can't say enough positive things about him. And Caleb LaValle, too. I think Caleb, you saw him on the last series, do some things. He's played really well on special teams. So I think the current and future in that room is really good.
Follow up on Michael, when you're sitting in the press box and you know he's the same athlete he was 3 months ago, but he looks more athletic on the field.
Right.
As a coordinator, that means what?
So, well, I think one of the biggest things is you can't discount the confidence of a player. And when you do things the right way and then you're rewarded for it by making plays, your confidence goes up, your swag goes up, your belief in yourself and understanding that I can make this play. I can go out there and play really, really fast and go make those plays. So it's just the development of a player. And I talk to our guys a lot about that. But in Michael Short, you can see it in real time. The conversations we're having right now about Michael Short are not the same conversations that you guys or we would have been having in September. Knew he was a freak athlete, all those kind of things, but just how he has intentionally made a purposeful effort to develop in every phase of his game has paid off.
Same thing with Will Hardy. Will's had a couple splash plays in the last couple
Yes.
weeks. Just sort of speak of what he's bringing.
Absolutely, and I've known Will since he was in high school. Love his dad, respect his dad, and just I watched all of his plays last year, and Charlton Warren is very honest, direct with all the guys what they need to do to get better. And Will Hardy has taken that information, all the things that we've poured into him, we've addressed with him, we've recommended to him. He didn't get in his feelings. He looked in the mirror and said, okay, I have to get better at X, Y, and Z. Here's how I'm going to get better, and he's done it. And you see that huge play he made. He played 41, 42 snaps on Saturday, along with his great special teams play. And the huge play where he caused the fumble and Scoob recovered it, that was one of the points of emphasis throughout the spring, throughout preseason camp, is shooting your shot and making those kind of plays. Let's not break down. Let's just run through contact, all those kind of things that showed up on that play. I'll take you back to Wednesday's practice. You guys aren't out there at practice. Okay. So Wednesday's practice, we start practice with a kickoff drill. And it was his job to run full speed down the field. He was the spill player, point of contact, and to make the play. And it was electric, him making the play Wednesday during practice. The whole sideline went nuts. I went nuts. And that was the exact same play he made on the game on Saturday. Different situation. That was a kickoff cover in practice, but it was a full speed rep coming downhill, making a play with physical contact, and he did it in Saturday, and he's rewarded with a caused fumble that we recovered. So those kind of things are really cool because now he's got confidence he can make that play. Here's what happens when I do make this play. Well, I'm going to do that more and more and more. And he's such a good dude and leader and all of those kind of things. Really proud of him. And he saved his cookie for his parents for this weekend. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I would have saved. He doesn't. He's probably got a whole whatever. So.
I was gonna say, when you were still at Western, what was your rivalry game?
App State. Yep, the battle for the Old Mountain Jug.
What was your record in your rivalry?
The second to the last game as a coach, we won it. It was a great memory. I won't answer the full question. But it was a great memory when we beat them. We got that Mountain Jug. It was awesome.
So what's the due date on that cookie cake for him?
I don't even know. I have no idea. No idea.
All right, Jeff, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
We gotta end it.